Okay, this video turned out to be way too long. I didn't know it was going to stretch over an hour. The first video file ended up being 26 minutes, and turns out it ended up being now an hour and 25 if I go over to everything. So, yeah, not only that, it actually cuts off at the very end of the clip before I was even finished talking. I guess I missed out on like a single word, but still, it cut out. So yeah, and basically, this video it's too long, and you don't have to watch the full thing. It's mainly just to see how can a 1660 Super handle Half-Life 2 when Half-Life 2 settings are all the way pumped up, and I mean with the update and with the mmod. And honestly, I know it's overkill, it really is, but I just want to try it, and just cause. This video is way too goddamn long. It is I can't express that enough. You don't have to be here for the full thing. Also, I thought I was recording with the Xbox Game Bar at the time, and for those of you who don't know, that's a frame counter, but it doesn't just tell you your frames. It tells you how much of your GPU is being used, your VRAM, your regular RAM, and your CPU, as well as the frames. I thought that was being recorded as well. When I played Cold War with my 960, it actually worked. This time it didn't. Don't know why, but yeah. So instead Fraps is there. Basically, if you're wondering, it stayed at a full 75 the full time. It went up to 76 for a bit, but then the lowest I actually saw it go was 74. That's it. Again, I had my VSync on, so I was capped at 75 frames, but yeah, it stayed just literally at 75 the whole time, which is more than enough frames. Obviously, this could handle Half-Life 2. I just want to see, but yeah, I was pretty sure. I actually thought it would be a little worse because I thought the mmod and the update would actually have more graphical enhancements, but I guess not. I do plan on trying the cinematic mod only because it does make the game look better, even though it is subject of controversy because of the Alex skins and all the other skins and whatnot. So yeah, I do though want to make a video just testing that out, just to see how it works. So this is Half-Life 2 update with the MM mod running on a 1660 Ti and 1660 Super and a Ryzen 5 3600. I know this is probably overkill, but I figured I might as well state that. I'm just gonna turn down the audio really quick. So yeah, recently I got a 1660 Super, and basically, before that, of course, if you know, I was using my 960. I had a few videos where I was playing games on it. I did 2 Black Ops Cold War videos where sorry. I did 2 Black Ops Cold War videos where, no, 3 actually, where I was playing the game, testing out a 960 basically, and it got some frames. I played it longer than I thought it would, and I was only getting, though, like 18 frames. I remember during multiplayer, in my first video, I was getting about 18 frames, but then later on I ended up getting, I don't know, 30-ish. So I believe later in the beta they must have added an optimization patch, but in the final game they must have gotten rid of that because in the final game I was getting like 15 frames. So I wasn't even getting how I was in the beta in the first place. I was getting less than that. But here's Half-Life 2. And as you can see, I could have ran this on my 960 and probably had the same performance. This is the update combined with the mmod. And yeah, we can talk to these guys here. Basically, I'm sure by now you've probably played Half-Life 2 a decent amount of times. I've played it a lot. I originally played it on the Orange Box back for the Xbox 360, and then later, of course, I got it on PC, and that's where I really started to mess around with stuff. I got to know things like console commands, and got to no-clip and use God mode everywhere, and just really learn how all this stuff works. Let's head out. It looks nicer. It looks a lot nicer. Again, it's been a while since I played basic Half-Life 2, so it looks nicer than I'd be used to, or than you might used to be. No, than you might be used to. So yeah, but for me, most of this is kind of new because yeah, it's been a while since I played the game. But I gotta say, it does look a lot nicer with the effects of the update and with the mmod. It actually, yeah, it looks really good. It's always fun just to mess around this area, but you can't do this. The movement's been changed, you see, at least without the HEV suit. But yeah, this back in the Xbox 360 days during this opening scene, I'll just go back here and mess around all the time. I remember D-Sync pointed out that he's in the worst spot. You can just throw whatever you want at this guy. Or maybe not that, but yeah. But yeah, originally I played the episodes all out of order. I beat episode 1 first, then episode 2, then finally Half-Life 2. When I should have played it, of course, the other way around, but I would just get stuck on certain parts and then figure them out later after I already beat one episode. So yeah, it just gives you all the episodes, that and Portal as well, and Team Fortress 2. I didn't have Xbox Live, so I couldn't play Team Fortress 2 online. Not that it really mattered. There was already a pretty outdated version of the game. And, of course, if the best way to play now is the PC version. But, yeah, if you want that older version, Team Fortress 2, you can play it on the orange box. So is there... Can you get... I forgot, can you get through this area? I've done it before, but I don't think I can. Especially with the slower movement. But, yeah. I gotta say, the game does look a lot nicer. And just looks a lot nicer. What was nice about the orange box is that it was Xbox One X enhanced, so that means that things just looked a little sharper and the details were, well, it didn't have more details, but it had better aliasing effects and whatnot. It didn't look quite like 720p. Yeah, well, I remember when I figured out how to play Half-Life 2 on Gmod, I went back through the campaign or through the main game and literally just messed around with everything. Sort of like I am now, but I'll just go around killing people and stuff and just breaking as much stuff as possible, because it's just fun to do that. Here's where we meet Barney, all the way from Black Mesa. Now, obviously, I'll be going over most of the story. This is just for experimentation. Or I'll be talking over most of the stories. This is your first time seeing the game. I suggest you play it by yourself. I mean, most modern computers can run it. Really, it's not the most intensive game. Even then, it's been fairly optimized. It did look nicer for the time. For 2004, it generally did look nice, but honestly, it's been heavily optimized. But yeah, the mmod makes a bunch of tiny little HD revisions to it. As you can see there, I actually went down to 74 frames. But yeah, so I figured if there's a part in this that is that actually makes my frames dip to at least 60, that would be really cool to see. But I'm thinking that's more possible at a 960 rather than a 1660 Super. And this is a fairly moderate card. It isn't, of course, a beast 4K 60 FPS card, but it is moderate. It's not exactly budget or low end. And it is a nice card. Considering the fact it was only $200, and actually, it's a cool story behind it, sort of, or why I ended up getting this. Because, okay, so when I first considered building a computer, it was before quarantine started. I was actually in school, and before that, I was using this I was using this laptop, this 1050 Ti with an i5 7th gen. It was the Dell Inspiron 157,000 gaming. It can game pretty nicely, especially since its main focus is to play on the go. And mostly I just use it for games like, if I were to actually take it on the go, I'd just use it for games like CSGO and maybe some Call of Duties. I actually have ran Doom Eternal on it, and I do plan on making a video about that. Obviously it wasn't at 60 frames, but it did look nice and kept to mostly 40 frames. I even have to do that, really. I could just... Yeah, and you can't dodge the attacks as well anymore. But yeah, the game looks brighter, but it does look a lot nicer. And this looks like something I would try to do with Reshade. Now, I never played Half-Life 2 Update, so, yeah, I never played Half-Life 2 Update, so I don't really know how that looks alone, but I gotta say, it does look nicer with the mmod. Again, the main focus, though, wasn't the textures, it's mostly the weapons and whatnot, working out little things. But, yeah, the game does generally look revised, which is really nice, because, see, that is a cinematic mod, and we all know what's up with that. I might actually try that, and I don't know if I'll do a video of it or not. Whether you like cinematic mod or not is up to you. Again, people have their reasons of hating it, I don't blame them for. I'm not exactly, I guess, what's the word, siding with those reasons as well. But, you gotta admit, it does look a lot nicer. And of course, you can't get back in here. But, you know, what I would end up doing a lot is, after a while, I went back into the main game and binded G to spawn in zombies, so I would just spawn in zombies everywhere. It would mess up all the scenes. The Combine would go crazy. Even the Strider over there would even start shooting at him. Fun fact, in case you didn't know, all the other Combine are actually enemies right now. If you're spawning a Combine, like a Combine Elite or a Shotgun Soldier, it'll start shooting at you and the civilians. Just the Metro Cops aren't neutral. I didn't actually know that. I thought they're just all placed at neutral. And actually, if you didn't even know, also, you have God Mode on right now. Right now, God Mode's on for the player. It's going to be turned off soon, though, once the Combines start killing everybody. But yeah. Okay, back to the 1660 Super story. Yeah, no, I forgot, I got sidetracked. Back to the story on that, though. I'd known just very little about the 1660 Super. I'd known it was a good card and could do a lot of stuff, but I hadn't known the most about it. I hadn't really compared it to other cards, but I just knew it was a all-out pretty decent card. So it's during lunch, I'm just waiting, I guess, for lunch to pass, and Mark goes on PC Part Picker and builds me like a $700 PC that has good specs and and also has a 1660 Super in it. I was like, oh shit, that's actually not a bad build. Again, the only thing I knew it had was 1660 Super. I didn't bother to look at things like CPU or even the motherboard. Now it probably had a Ryzen 5 3600. I should take these guys out by throwing stuff at them, but that never worked. But yeah, it probably had the CPU I have now, but back then again, I didn't pay attention to that stuff. I didn't even knew CPU really mattered all that much. I didn't even know bottlenecking was a thing. And I was literally like a year ago or so, and again, I knew a decent amount about PCs, not as much as I know now. I know a lot more now, but yeah. So I thought, okay, I'll maybe consider building a new one. Finally, some time passes, and then quarantine starts, and I sort of forget about it. But then it pops up back in my mind again, about July-ish. So I'm not even in school. So, I said, fuck it, what if I try and build a PC? So I asked Mark about it, and he's actually in on the idea. He's like, hey, you should try and build it. And he ended up trying to build one himself as well. So I thought, okay, so at the time, I didn't know how to use PC Part Picker. When I tried to use it before a few times, I couldn't. And basically, oh yeah, now God mode's off. But I tried to use it before, I didn't know how, and I ended up having a bunch of issues with stuff like ability and power reasons. Again, the whole thing was very messy. So finally, I just thought, fuck it, what if I were just go online right now and just build a PC that works, and I'll see how much it costs. I'll try and keep the cost below $1,000, but yeah, I'll try and, see what I can do. So, I built this, I don't even know what the hell I built, but I built a PC with, like, a 2-core CPU. If you don't know what that means, I would suggest you look it up. But, basically, cores manage the workload. If I had to take a guess, I think I had 2 cores and 4 threads. Cores manage the workload. If I'm correct, I could be wrong about this. The more cores you have, the better. And also, if you don't have enough cores, your CPU is going to bottleneck. I didn't know cores were a thing. I didn't know, and again, I knew fuck all about CPU, or about CPUs. So, so I thought, okay, whatever CPU is cost-friendly will work. Again, chose a Core 2 something, I don't know what I chose. I knew it was an AMD CPU, because it worked with the motherboard I picked. Actually, no, I don't know. I don't know if it was an AMD CPU. That may have been an Intel motherboard. So I honestly don't know. I believe it was an AMD CPU, though. So I put it all together, showed to Mark, he said, no, that's a bad build, don't build that. He pointed out the first things first. Yeah, he pointed out that I'm gonna want a better CPU, as the 2-core CPU is gonna bottleneck. So he ended up making a better, more revised build, and it's the build I ended up going with. And basically, yeah, he gave me a Ryzen 5 3600, along with a Ryzen 5 3600, along with a well, he didn't give this to me. This stuff I ended up buying myself, or just bought myself. But they gave me a build with, yeah, again, a Ryzen 5 3600. I don't know if it was I don't know if it's the X or the I think I just had the basic 3600, and then a Gigabyte B450M DS3H as the motherboard. So he made a build on PC Part Picker with both of those, and along with the 1660 Ti. But that would end up sort of changing, sort of. It's hard to explain what happened. So I thought, okay, I can try and build this PC. I would sell my laptop, which I never actually ended up having. I never ended up doing, and I still have my laptop. Still use it here and there just for portability reasons. But I don't, as you imagine, don't travel much these days. But if I were to start traveling and I want to take my laptop with me, I would use that one. But back to this. So, oh, crap, I forgot what I was talking about. So yeah, oh no. So I thought I was gonna sell my laptop and sort of just make up the money for everything else. I ended up not doing that, and over time, with the help of my brother and my mom, of course, because I'm only 15, turned 16 in October, I was able to build the PC. However, I did not get the 1660 Ti. I got everything but that. The power supply, the motherboard, the RAM, and I also I had this 960, the 2GB 960. At the time I thought it was a 4GB 960, but it was just a 2GB one. I had it from this Essentio PC my brother built, sort of. It was an Essentio PC, but when he bought it, had a 720 in it, a GT 720, which, okay, albeit you can't play modern games, but I've seen it actually run old games decently. Games like Mafia 2 and Skyrim, games from that sort of era, it can handle actually well enough. Yeah, so I ended up buying a 960 for it, which again, he didn't know anything about. This is like before I even thought about building a PC. So he bought a new graphics card for it, and again, he asked his friends what graphics card's a good one, and I guess his friend recommended him a 960, which at the time may have been the case. Now, as you can see from my other videos, maybe not so much. So he just went to Fry's and asked, hey, do you have this graphics card, GTX 960? They pointed it out for him, he bought it, and there he goes, which was probably a good purchase for the time. Maybe, obviously not now. Now it's a pretty low budget card, but yeah, because you'll get like, I mean, I guess Cyberpunk is obviously intensive, but 1080p at low settings, you'll get about like 25 frames on Cyberpunk average, which I don't know. It's up to you whether you want to play like that or not. I wouldn't be so keen on that. The game's like, I know I was running Black Ops Cold War on Ultra, which I really didn't have to do. It was just my choice. I was getting 18 frames, as opposed this card over here gets like 60 frames. No, about like high 60s on Black Ops Cold War Ultra settings. No HD textures though. I did not install the HD textures. So yeah, it got the job done for the time. It was a really good card then. Maybe not so much now. It was that card paired with an like a 3rd gen i5 or something like that. So yeah, but it wasn't upgraded considering the fact that it was using a 720 beforehand. So I figured, alright, fuck it, I'll use that card. At the time, again, I thought it was the 4GB model, but no, this was it was just the 2GB model. And that 2GB of VRAM will sit you down a lot. Especially that there's some games that actually, yeah, that will limit you to that, sort of, they will limit you to those 2GB of VRAM too. So games like Doom Eternal and Red Dead Redemption 2, you can't go past that VRAM limit on the options or on the graphics. And honestly, it is so easy to fill up those 2GB. It's extremely easy. I really wish they just wouldn't let you do that. If I could at least play at 1080p low settings, I could originally play it online, which is why I got it, because I had some friends that are playing online, so I figured, fuck it, I'll just do stuff with them. And I originally got it while I was using my laptop, so I was able to run it at like 1080p, lowest settings with the textures on Ultra. I got good enough frames, the game looked decent enough to where I'd guess render it playable, as long as you're just playing online, I wouldn't actually play the campaign or the main story. So, yeah, I ended up just doing that, but I want to play more online with my 960, however, that didn't end up working out. Because, again, I was stuck at 720p lowest settings. I was just barely below the limit. Back to the graphics cards, though. So, I was like, okay, fine, I won't be getting the 1660 Ti. So I searched online to look up more about it, and I see his Linus Tech Tips video, and he was talking about how the 2060, on average, isn't that much of a price markup from the 1660. So his question was, why get the 1660 when you just get the 2060? I thought that was a good point. So I searched online on Newegg for 2060, and I actually found one. I actually found a Super for, I think it was either $399 or $499, probably $399. And then I look on AliExpress some more. I look on AliExpress just a bit more, and I see a 2070 Super. No, it's 2070, I think, yeah. I think it's just 2070, just a 2070 for that same price, just for $399. Yeah, I should probably pay more attention. But, yeah, so I was like, okay, this is the same price as the 2060, I'll just get that. So I held on to that link for a while. Only problem is, it was on my laptop, and when I was done using, finally building the PC, plugged in 960, what I also did was I took the SSD, for some stupid reason, I took the SSD from my laptop and put it on the motherboard. It's an M.2 SSD. And I didn't even install Windows on it, I just installed a few random games on it, I just wanted extra storage. I don't even know if installing Windows was something you can do until later. So, yeah, I ended up formatting the drive, and, well, I made some nice HEV suit modifications. But I ended up formatting the drive, and I gave my laptop this old crappy laptop hard drive, which, again, it's not an SSD, but it's a laptop hard drive, which is essentially just a small hard drive. It doesn't have the speed of a regular hard drive, or anything like that, because some hard drives are decently fast. Again, not as fast as SSDs, but are fast enough. This didn't have any of that. It was very slow, took forever to boot up Windows, and I really only used it as a school laptop, because when school starts again, it was going to be fully online. So yeah, I only use it as a school laptop. Didn't use it for any sort of gaming, except I guess for Minecraft a few times. That's it. So I was just like, fuck it. Okay, that's fine. I'll just keep like that. But essentially what happened was I lost a link to the 2070. I bookmarked it, but then it was just gone. Oh yeah, Fraps is there, that's right. But yeah, no, I lost the link to the 2070, and I no longer could find it. I was like, fuck it, I don't really care that much. I'm just gonna... Well, actually, my friend Mark actually persuaded me into waiting for the 3000 series to come out. Or the 30 series graphics cards to come out, because they were coming out soon, you could tell. Or you figured, yeah, they were probably going to come out soon, and what do you know? They came out around, I guess, November-ish, December-ish. The trailers came out sooner, of course. I'm not sure when, but they came out in noticeable time. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll try and get one of the 30 series cards. So I waited, worked up enough money, and I figured I'm going to try and get a 3080. Which, I have a 500 watt power supply, so we'll be pushing it to the limits, and there was, I think, going to be a tiny bottleneck. Like a tiny one, but nothing too bad. Like one frame, maybe, would have been lost. So essentially I figured, fuck it, okay, now I have enough. So some time passes, I'm working up enough money, and I finally do. I save some of my birthday money, save some of my Christmas money, and next thing you know, I'm sitting here with either $800 or $700, no, $700, like $50, and I'm like, okay, so now I have enough for a 3080. But for those of you who know how the part stock has been, it's been fucking abysmal. You could, they would load a new graphics card into new websites, you would refresh your page, or, yeah, no, just refresh your page, the stock would be gone. It would be all gone, just like that. Within the literal second, within like a few seconds. I thought they would stay on for at least a minute, but no, they were just there for a few seconds, and that was it. So I thought, okay, it's gonna be a real fight to get this. So, then I figured, okay, I'll go to some of these Discord servers that have these sort of, they keep track of the stock of graphics cards and whatnot. If there's a new one, they'll actually send links out for that. So I clicked the 3080 button, and I just waited and waited, and they would come online, and then they would just get taken off. And again, I was shooting for a 3080 that was worth about 750. Or if I really had to, I'd go for like 600, but 750 was the main goal. But there are some on there for like 800 and 900, and at one point, actually, well, let's go back a bit first before we jump to that. But, so yeah, this Christmas, or this during my Christmas break, it was just a hassle trying to find a graphics card, or a 3080 that was working. I thought, this is going to take me quite some time to get through. This is going to be, again, it's a hassle. It's going to be a fight to try and get through this. So I just figured, fuck it, I gotta find some other options. So I started looking at other options, and I immediately thought of a 980 or an RX 580. You know, an RX isn't, for those of you who don't know, isn't NVIDIA, it's AMD. So even though I was using a 960, a 580 would be an upgrade because that's a completely different company and series. But yeah, it's either that, a 980 or a 580. And they were just in my mind. I was just looking at options I would consider budget graphics cards. So I ended up trying to find an RX 580 because, again, I remember I looked up a few comparisons, and I get it. I don't know if those are the best things to compare, but I didn't really care too much at the time. So I thought, fuck it, okay, I'll try and shoot for an RX 580. And I didn't have much luck finding one of those. I mean, I did, but they're for, again, due to stock problems, the prices are being raised for like $200, and well, basically, I was on a Discord call with my friend Mark and my friend Dylan. Right, they're both decently knowledgeable in PCs. They both have much more PC knowledge than I do, and they just know more about the whole thing. So I was looking for, I guess, a budget graphics card. I didn't tell him about my, I didn't tell Dylan that I was looking for a 3080. I told Mark that. That's a little glitch you can do. There's a lot of glitches I know about in Half-Life 2. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a guy down there. But yeah, no, there's a lot of No, I told Mark, but I didn't really tell Dylan because I didn't think it was a website. Because I just want to see what do they have in stock. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they don't sell RX cards. I'm pretty sure it's just GTX cards. So I clicked the 1660 Super option, and there's 3 cards there available, all for decent prices. And I was already willing to go for 200 for a 980 Ti, even though it's really not worth it. But I was like, fuck it. Or at least nowadays it's not. I was thinking, hey, why don't I try and go buy one? And Dylan was like, no, Spencer, you crazy, don't do it. That's not worth it. And then, what do you know, we find a 1660 Super here for about... Alright, now I have to go for a sec. But let me make sure I'm still recording. I am. So, as I was saying though, we find that 1660 Super for 200, or if one for like $220, $230, and my friend Dylan's like, Spencer, if you're willing to spend 200, buy this. Like, that shouldn't, for two things. He said two things. That's a good price for it, and also that it shouldn't be there considering the stock was bad. The stock was so bad that 20 series cards, actually, yeah, the 1660s aren't even in stock anymore. But yeah, it's so bad that actually the 20 series cards were also out of stock as well. And they had very limited stock for them. So I just thought, fuck it. Alright, I'll go buy 1660 Super and just upgrade in about 4 years. And I really just made that decision like right then and there. I thought, you know what? I'm actually tired of trying to hassle my way through and find a 3080. I'll go buy a 1660 Super right now. So I go ahead and do that, and well, it yeah, no, I decided to order it. It's in stock, and thinking on it for a long time. But I finally made it through and complete the rest of the game. Again, frame rate stayed mostly stable. Alright, I had to go there for a bit. Didn't know how long the last recording actually took. So the frame rate's staying mostly stable, but I'm gonna turn my volume down. But, yeah, it really just went down to 74 right there. That's the only dip I've noticed so far. Again, this changes every second. It's not like Fraps where it changes literally just whenever it changes. This changes every second. So, and here's the pistol. And I gotta say, they did a nice job on the guns. Let's talk about the crowbar real quick. They did make it seem like they did give it a more realistic hitting motion, which is nice. You actually just sort of swing with it rather than just jabbing with it. And then, of course, if you know, they had the stun stick in, which has full-on electric effects. And actually, if you hit the water, I'm pretty sure if you hit the water with this, it will electrocute the area around the water. And last but not least, of course, is the pistol, and which has a full-on selecting animation for it when you pull it out. Not only that, but it has iron sights. And the sound's been changed too, actually. I forgot about that. Again, fully reworked reloading animations. New sounds, new everything. It does basically the most favors to the weapons, which I think is really nice. And yeah, it just enhances the whole thing. This really just is the enhanced version of Half-Life 2. As I was saying, though, back to the graphics card story, I forgot what I was saying, I don't know. But yeah, so originally, the 1660 Super was my original idea for a graphics card. That sort of morphed into the 2070 all the way to the 3080. But then I just ended up going back to the 2060. And I might have a 3080 if stock wasn't so bad. If COVID wasn't a thing, then yeah, I'd be in school, right? I'd have to go to school tomorrow, actually, because I'm still in online school. Due to COVID. There's really nothing preventing me from going into regular school, other than, yeah, than quarantine. I believe there's more blood effects as well. As you can see, explosions have been reworked, so they look nicer as well. The fire effects are different, so they have actual smoke. It just looks a lot better, and I really like that about this mod. And if you haven't played Half-Life 2 in a while, and you want to try and replay it, this is a great way to do so. But yeah, it just is nice. It enhances a lot of things. Not to mention screen effects it has. Things like the chromatic aberration, which just have a little bit of lens distortion, and there's a bit of film grain there too. All add a sort of nicer effect. Back to what I was saying though. Yeah, I originally wanted to shoot for 2070. That was my choice for the longest time. And I figured I'm just going to try and fight my way through for a 3080. That never happened. And actually at one point, two 3080 stories I have are while there was this one time where the cards were actually popping up on the ASUS site. But the ASUS site is so badly unoptimized that it had two major problems. A, the loading times were so long on it. And I read up, there are other people having this problem as well. Literally in the Discord themselves, they're saying that, yeah, it's taking forever to load because how many people are going onto it. And B, also, at one point there were so many people on it, it just crashed. The website just shut down. It couldn't get everything through. So it shut down for like 10 minutes or so. And everyone was talking about, yeah, in the Discord chat, how, because that server, that stock server did have a Discord chat. So it was talking about how it just basically the website crashed. It just crashed. And yeah, I honestly we just pushed it to the limits essentially and just broke through that limit. So pretty interesting there. And then at one point, I forgot what site it was on, but at one point there was a site that did have the graphics cards, and they didn't stay in stock for more than a few seconds. You know why? Because they were going for $1,400. which is literally like the price of a 3090. So it's like, if you're gonna if you want people to spend 1,300 or on 1,400 on a 3080, then they might as well just buy 3090s. So yeah, I figured, you know what, with the way things are looking, it's not gonna be available anytime soon. So I thought, fuck it, I'll go without. I'll just get that 1660 Super. Again, this is just on the night of I bought it. So I bought it, and well, it came. I bought it on Tuesday. Okay, so I have a 2-week break. I don't know if you guys do it the same in your counties or whatnot, but in Burbank County, you have a 2-week break for the New Year and Christmas. And on the Tuesday of that break is when I bought the card. On the Monday, on the Tuesday of that first week is when I bought the card. On the Monday of the second week is when it finally came, and I just used the fuck out of it. And I played a lot of games. I played a lot of games I just couldn't have before. I mean, again, the 960 can practically play any game, just not at the best settings. And with this 2 gigabytes of VRAM at much better frame rates and much better, much better visual effects. So yeah, I'd say, if it weren't for these circumstances, I'd say try and shoot for higher. But if you can, again, you don't have to. Everyone has their budgets. But yeah, okay, so there's actually a glitch you can actually do here. If you those people they all get gunned down. If you actually hop up above here and go around and just walk through there, you can actually save those people. They won't spawn in. They'll spawn in over there or something, and they'll actually be saved. You can't save the guy in the sewers. He's like destined to die. Can I actually no-clip through this? It might spawn him anyways. Advanced. Enable developer console. And I don't think V's bind. Okay, so bind. This I used to do a lot. Bind V no clip. And oh no, you have to turn on SV cheats. SV score cheats. Wait, no. Cheats 1. I spelled it wrong. And then bind V no clip. Sometimes it doesn't work. So, okay, there we go. I think we may have went a little overboard. No, oh, no, I cannot save them. Okay, I guess on this version it doesn't work, but on the basic Half-Life 2 version, you could just do what I just did, and on the Orange Box version as well. You could do that and actually, go up and, again, save those people from getting gunned down. You could try and save this guy, too, if you want. I guess we couldn't. That's the story of my PC currently. So currently, it has a 1660 Super, and maybe about 4 or 5 years of upgrade. But, yeah, this thing's been able to handle pretty much everything I gave it. Obviously not a beast 4K 60 FPS card, but it does handle games really nicely. And games like again, Call of Duty's run nicely. Oh yeah, you can actually dismount the emplacement gun, which is really cool. And essentially have a pulse rifle before you're actually supposed to get the pulse rifle. So that's a really cool feature, and I'm actually glad they added it because it is a cool gun, the emplacement gun. But back to what I was saying. Again, it's not a 4K 60 FPS card. I think it's best used for 1080p gaming, along with the 2060, or if you want, you can game 1440p. But yeah, no, I think it the 1660 Super is a great 1080p 60 FPS ish card. Some titles like Cyberpunk and whatnot, obviously. You won't be getting 60 frames. You'll be getting like high 40s and whatnot. And also, I'm running I run my version of Cyberpunk at ultra settings, so it's really up to you. But the point is, it's a big boost from the 960. Actually, Mafia Definitive Edition, on ultra settings, that actually runs at about 60 frames. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less at times, but it does for the most part run at 60 frames. I originally played through that because my brother got it for me for my birthday. I played through Mafia 1 and Mafia, I did a whole video on that, but I played through Mafia 1 Definitive Edition on my 960, and I was able to play it at its high settings, except reflections were turned to low and motion blur was off. So, yeah, with those settings, except everything else on high, the gameplay is really nice. It stays at a solid 30, unless it was limited. I don't know if it may have been limited or not. If it was, that's pretty shitty. But for the most part, yeah, it was really playable. I didn't have too many frame problems, which was really nice, because honestly, I was really skeptical of whether I was actually able to run it or not. I looked it up beforehand if you could run on a 960. 2GB 960 with Ryzen 5, and yeah, no, people in the videos were able to play the game pretty well, and Jesus, no, and I think I may have had the frame rate limited. I really don't know, but no, because I went back and played it with my 1660, and the frame rate was at 60 frames, so I really don't know. But yeah, I played the game, and it was really fun. It's a great remaster. Again, I've made a whole video about it, with just giving my full thoughts on it. So if you want, you can check that out. It's a little long though. But yeah, so that's pretty much the story of my 960. And then after I got my 1660 Super, did I ever say Ti? I mean Super. Just to clarify, I have 1660 Super, not Ti. Sometimes I just get those two mixed up if I'm not thinking about it. I could actually throw one of these instead. But yeah, so I've been using the Super, and it's been working nice. I even overclocked it, so it runs better. In some games that the overclocking will actually crash it, so on those I won't run the overclocking, but yeah, in games where it does work, it works really nicely. I've been able to get pretty much 60 FPS for most of my games, again with a few exceptions like Cyberpunk. I do want to try out some later Assassin's Creeds like Valhalla and Odyssey, so we'll try those. Don't know how those are going to run, but we'll see. And yeah, it is funny how I originally wanted to go with the 1660 Super, or Ti at the time, and I'm so fucked. Oh, I'm dead. But my friend said the 16 is much better, considering the fact that one's going for 280, as opposed to the basic 2. Oh yeah, that's right, if you hit with this wall underwater, you're going to electrocute yourself. Okay, so I think they changed the damage of the barrels underwater, because I remember you were able to be a lot more reckless when they're throwing those things down, so yeah, I guess that's been changed. But back to what I was saying, yeah, I originally wanted to go with the Ti, not even a Super, but a Ti. But yeah, my friend's saying how it's really not worth it, considering the fact that the Ti isn't that much better, but the price is much higher. Or at least like 60 bucks higher, it really isn't worth it. So yeah, and I've been actually enjoying this card really well. Of course, I would have liked my 3080, but honestly, it would have been a real hassle. I don't even think I would have had it by now, because it's been a week already since it's been about 2 weeks since I got this card. Alright, sorry about that. I had to go away for a moment. What was I saying? I don't know. But yeah, I originally wanted to go with that Super, with the 1660 Super, and I mean, I guess I now have the, well, technically again it was the Ti, but now I have the Super, which really isn't that much better. But yeah, now I have the Super, and was my original choice. But yeah, no, I got it about 2 weeks ago, and again, everything I've thrown at it, it's been able to handle, and the games have looked nice and been at playable frame rates. So yeah, but originally this wasn't the end goal, but I probably wouldn't. I really don't think I would have had a 3080 by now. I think it would have been that hard to get, just waiting. Because again, the stocks are. It's not like there's a schedule or anything. The stocks just show whenever they show. It could be any site from any manufacturer, but there's no schedule or anything. So they just show whenever. You can actually, okay, I'm losing health. You can actually hop across that, and what if you know? Okay, I'm about to die. I've come across like no health. So I just realized that there's like, did they take away some of the health? Because I haven't found much. Alright, so I'm gonna play this part more traditionally, but normally a lot of times we'll sort of run through. Again, Half-Life 2's movement is much faster. I'm more used to that. So a lot of these little tricks and whatnot revolve around that Half-Life 2's basic movement speed, plus the mmod, where I think it's not so much more slower, but just more realistic. I'm gonna try and cross. Oh crap! Nope. Okay. No, I died. This part's gonna be difficult to get through. But yeah, obviously the 1660 Super kill, or no, fuck, the 1660 Super. I was medkit there. Oh shit. 1660 Super. This is overkill, really. I honestly thought this would be a little more intensive, but it's actually not. And I do have VSync on, so that's why it's not going above 75. But yeah, there we go. You can actually cross the entire section over here if you just do that. If you're a speedrunner, that trick would probably be useless, as you'd find a way to just skip this entire section and just be able to just bash or just fly your way through it. I am not, so I check more traditional methods. But yeah, it's real stock is just that bad. It's so bad. 20 series cards out of stock, and actually, if you look now on EVGA, the 1660 Super is now out of stock. It may come back in stock, but there's no information on that. There's no schedule or anything. There's no one's saying anything. It's just out of stock. When it comes back, it's back. Who knows when that will be? And as you can see, we've reached this guy here. You've seen pretty much, while I've been talking, you've seen pretty much everything the mmod has to offer, or most of the things. You don't even have to watch this far, really. You're probably not. But yeah, you've seen pretty much practically everything the mmod has to offer. I could go do an entire video showing you all the weapons, but I don't know if I'll be doing that. Yeah, it's a pretty neat mod, and I do enjoy. It is a fun way to play Half-Life 2, especially since it has that replayability factor to it. Oh crap. Half-Life 2 I've played a lot of time. Just as much as I played something as like Call of Duty 2. Don't know if you guys probably don't know that, but I played actually a lot of the original Call of Duty 2. I originally got it for I cannot aim. I originally got it for the 360. And I was like, okay, so since I don't have the game on 360 anymore, I want to play it on my PC. Oh, I got it splashed, that's right. So I originally downloaded that, and I started playing the campaign, and I thought, I'm bored, so I'm going to try and play multiplayer. So try and get multiplayer to work. That never actually worked for me, as I always had issues. Actually, I haven't tried it on Steam, because I originally used no Steam servers, however you pronounce it. And those never quite worked, so I will try it now that I have Steam, because again, it does have some pretty active servers up still. And it was the main reason why I got it again. So, yeah, but originally I was like, alright, I played the campaign, I'm pretty bored, I don't want to continue playing the basic campaign. Since I can play multiplayer, I just thought, fuck, what am I supposed to do? And then I realized you could actually mod the game. You could actually change the guns up to where they're like modern weapons, or different skins, like, and oh man, heck, here kills this guy. But there's mods that actually change like the guns to like different versions of themselves. They'll look different, they'll either be separate guns entirely, or sort of remade models or versions of the same guns. It just depends on what mods you download. They'll sometimes include new sounds and new, just a bunch of new stuff. So I actually got a mod that changes the Webley to a hammer, or an HAMR from Black Ops 2. It changes basically the Webley to an assault rifle with a lot of ammo for. Actually, no, there's not a lot of ammo on the map because it's a Webley. You really weren't supposed to use that much. Yeah, I got a mod that did that, and I was like, holy fucking shit. Because in one part, it's just sitting there on a table, and you can just pick it up. And, yeah, so I just picked it up, used it, I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, what did I install this for? And then I realized I installed this for the Webley. And I was like, oh, that's too bad, because I want to use this gun more. Yeah, so I just modded the hell out of the campaign, and then just played the hell out of it there. And I got a lot of enjoyment out of that, because Call of Duty 2 is fun. Again, it too also has the same replay value. So I think, yeah, I think it's just a fun game overall. And I would be playing Call of Duty 3, but there's no PC port for that. Oddly enough, it came out on everything but PC, and emulation isn't the easiest, considering the fact that my only two options are Wii and PS2 emulation, because it came out on PS3 and 360 and even the original Xbox, but those aren't easy to emulate. And, well, okay, here's the thing. I've seen some people emulate RPCS3 on, oh, here's the SMG. It's really cool. But I've seen some people emulate RPCS3 on a 960 before, and they actually were getting playable frame rates and whatnot. But, well, sort of playable frame rates. But I figured, yeah, if they can get those types of frames on a 960, I could get better frames, of course, on a 1660 Super. So I tried to, I downloaded RPCS3. I still have it. But the problem is that the ROMs, they're like 40 gigabytes for some games. I want to play Killzone originally. That'd be my first test. I'd test out Killzone, see how that ran, and make my judgments from there. But the file for Killzone, the only files I can find for it are like 40 gigabytes. And that's like a shit ton. Like, that's like how much like games like nowadays would go for. That's how many gigabytes. Killzone shouldn't be that many gigabytes. So until I find a workaround, I'm just not gonna do any tests on it, or I might, but I might just have to fucking say fuck it and just go along with the fact that Killzone on the PS3, Killzone 3 on the PS3, is 40 gigabytes. When I really I don't know what happened, but I don't think it should be 40 gigabytes, unless it was. There's not much you can do about that, but yeah, that's pretty much. I don't know why it's that amount of gigabytes. It should be like, I was thinking more like 10 maybe, or even 5. especially if it's compressed. And the file may not be compressed, but who knows? But even then, even if it's not compressed, because I doubt it's compressed on PS3, it shouldn't be 40 gigabytes. The most I think it would ever take up is like 10 or even 8 or 7. Yeah, leagues below 40. So who knows what I'm gonna do? I honestly want to see just how much is Red Dead going for. Is it actually going for more, or is that just a mistake made by whoever ported it, and they ended up just being a lot more gigabytes? I really don't know, but I'll check it out later, because I would like to play through the original Red Dead. I played through Red Dead 2. That was a really fun game. I have it both on PC and console. And not only it's a fun game, but yeah, well, you already know I have it on PC. But I played through it on console, because again, I didn't want to play it with super low settings. And yeah, I had a blast out of it. I remember when I was playing it back in the day, and I just couldn't stop playing. Just the main story was just so fun to play through. I genuinely just couldn't stop, and I just ran out of ammo for everything. But yeah, so that's pretty much the Red Dead story. That's pretty much the whole. That's the entire. That's most of, I guess, my story with video games and whatnot, at least for this section of my life. And yeah, just talking about the fact that Killzone on the PS3 is 40 gigabytes. It's the ROM file for it is. But yeah, that's why I haven't been emulating any PS3 games, because again, I haven't looked at other PS3 games. I could just play Killzone 2, but I do want to play Killzone 3. That is sort of my goal. But again, I could just go for Killzone 2, see how much that is for. And there also are other PS3 games I need to look at. Games like Uncharted are also really fun. The Last of Us, although in The Last of Us you actually can't get it on Vim's Lair. It just, unfortunately, the file is just not there, or there's no file for it. So just thought, okay, fine, I'll just go with Uncharted. I actually I haven't looked into Uncharted yet, so we'll see how much that is. But yeah, I would at least like to play Uncharted 3 or Uncharted 2, because those are, I think, the ones that people have most fun with. But yeah, I won't be able to play Uncharted 4 or the other one that came out. But yeah, the other games we'll be able to play, because those are PS4, and I made a whole video talking about why PS4 emulation is fake, or looking into fake PS4 emulators. It's an old video, but you shouldn't have scrolled down too far to find it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for now. I'm just gonna talk about Half-Life 2 next. Oh yeah, there's an unreachable energy suit back there, and actually is in that vent there. It goes up at the end of the vent, but there's nothing up there. It just ends. It's just a dead end. Don't know why they did that, but it happened. Oh crap! I did not mean to fall. I'm actually surprised the barrels haven't exploded yet. But yeah, again, this video was not meant to be. I cannot get up here. This video was not meant to be this long, but it just ended up being pretty long. I do intend on making videos about my Dell Inspiron 15700 or 7000 gaming. It's not the 7560, 7000, whatever what it was. It's just the basic 7000 gaming. So yeah, I do intend on making some videos about that, testing it in games, because laptop, for those of you who don't know, laptop graphics cards are a little weak. Oh shit, are a little weaker than the smoke looks really nice. I gotta say they did a really good job on that. So hats off to them. Hats off to them on this whole mod. This whole mod is a really cool conversion mod. But they even made it so the pistol still shoots underwater. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I do plan on doing some videos on that in the near future. But no, yeah, as I was saying, laptop hard drives are generally a little, or laptop graphics cards and parts are generally a little weaker than actual PC parts. So it is neat to see what kind of frames you would get. Again, it's a 1050 Ti with 4 gigabytes and a 7th Gen i5. So the parts are budget parts, but they're higher end versions of the combo to have. But I'd at least try and shoot for a higher graphics card if you do. But whatever floats your boat, really. If you're doing mostly competitive gaming, yeah, you're only going to need a 1050 Ti. Games that you would play competitively, you know, like Valorant and CSGO. I guess any game you call competitive for that matter, but mostly the two major ones, Valorant, or actually just CSGO, really. I don't know what's mostly competitive or what's big these days. No, well, that's not necessarily. Back to what I was saying though, games like Valorant and CSGO, and even games like World of Warcraft and League of Legends, all those, again, they aren't too intensive, so you aren't going to need the biggest gear, or you aren't going to need like the most gear in the world to play them. So that pretty much suits that. Yeah, 1050 Ti and an i5, they'll suit your needs perfectly, at least a later gen i5. They actually ended up giving one of my friends, I had this i7 2600, he had an i5 3600, so I was like, fuck it, dude, we want to meet up and we'll Me and this other friend. Okay, a friend story. So basically, for those you don't know from my friend stories, just so things aren't confusing, I don't give the actual names. Well, I actually already did, but okay. So my friend Dylan is like, my friend Max needs a new CPU, so I decided, hey, I have a i7 over here, it might be better than your i5. So we asked our friend Dylan, who's also great friends with Max, and he's like, oh yeah, this will be much better. Do you guys want to meet up? And I was like, fuck it, sure, let's go. Oh, actually, funny story about my CPUs earlier. When I was building my computer, I actually originally bought a Ryzen 5 1600 as opposed to the 3600, and this part's pretty cool because the whole place just gets shelled. But yeah, I ended up buying a Ryzen 5 1600 as opposed to the 3600 I have now. Basically, when I first got my CPU, I was like, okay, time to plug it in with the rest of the computer. However, I did not think to take the motherboard out. I already had put the motherboard in the case, and so I just sort of kept it there. But yeah, I didn't think to take it out, or that I should have done that. And I thought the CPU install would be pretty easy and pretty straightforward, that I wouldn't need to do that. So, oh crap, that's already done. No. Actually, something cool if you try and go back here. So I figured, okay, fine, it'll just be pretty easy, just pretty straightforward. I plug in the CPU, put on the CPU cooler. It's not straightforward, it's not easy, and putting on the CPU cooler, especially if it's in the case, can be a bitch. It's already painful enough trying to put it in out of the case. If it's in the case, it's much worse. That's how I broke the 1600. Basically, I put on the CPU cooler, and I need to sort of rearrange it. This is like, fuck, okay, I gotta take it off, and I'm gonna have to tamper with this thing for a while. So I take it off, and as I'm pulling off the cooler, the CPU, the thermal paste, because they pre-apply thermal paste, the paste on there is so strong that it actually ripped off the 1600 with it. And it ripped the entire thing off, and you can't really save this guy. But it ripped the entire thing off and bent some of the prongs in the process on the 1600. At the time, I didn't know this was going to be a problem. So I finally plug it back in, get it to work, and I boot it on, nothing happens. I ended up taking it to a repair place after some tampering. I tampered with some other things. But I ended up taking it to a repair place, and yeah, they said, oh, I missed a zombie. There's a zombie back there if you go in a certain vent. There's a zombie that actually attacked. He's hiding behind a crate. But you'll go over the supply crate, and there's going to be this zombie that just pops out. I actually missed him. I forgot back where. Oh, he's back where you first get the SMG, I believe. Back to the story. So yeah, they say, hey, your CPU prongs are bent. I was like, oh crap, I didn't know it was going to change it. They're like, yeah, so you got to get a new CPU, or you can try and rearrange the prongs. I really don't know, it's up to you. But it said, so pretty much once you get the new CPU, we'll just install it back for you. And I thought, okay, fine. I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to be able to rebend the prongs. So I was just like, okay, I guess I gotta get a new CPU. During that time, I told my friend Mark about it. He's like, oh, that fucking sucks. Sorry about that. But then he also said, a couple days later, he also said, hey, did you order the CPU yet? I was like, no, I didn't. He's like, okay, go with this one, because the prices actually fluctuate. Originally, the 1600, when I first bought it, was $75, but now it was $150. I thought, okay, fuck, I'm gonna have to buy it again for more money now. But it turns out the 3600 went down to it was either to that price or like around it. It was either 150 or like 160. I thought if you're willing to spend 150, just buy this one instead. It's the later version of the 1600, was the 3600. And so yeah, I just thought, okay, fine, I'll go with this instead. And so I bought it, I plugged it in, plugged in on 60, got everything to work, and the computer's good to go. And since it's been my main game computer, of course I made a few modifications to it. At the time, I had Windows installed on a basic hard drive, and I didn't even know installing it was into an SSD was something you could do, let alone an M.2 SSD that I had. So my friend Mark tells me about it. He's like, if you want this to go really fast, just put in an SSD. So I thought, okay, but I was like, I don't want to take all my data out of the M.2 because I had some stuff in the M.2 that I was working on, some games I was in the middle of playing. Again, it was really stupid, the whole entire thing. So I just thought, okay, fine, I'll just get a new SSD. So I got a new SSD, installed Windows over to it, and yeah, it worked. I took all my download files over to it, so I'd be able to speed it up really quickly. And I formatted it. I formatted my drive, plugged in the SSD, and next thing you know, the computer's really fast. And yeah, since then the only thing I've really changed is the yeah, no, that's pretty much the only change I made. So I currently have a 1660 Super in there with a Ryzen 5 3600. I haven't made any videos regarding that. This is actually the only time I've talked about that on my channel. I thought I was going to do a whole unboxing of it, but I figured, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's been handling games nicely. This far, going to electrocute me? I don't think so. But it's been handling games really, really well. And it's just a decent purchase overall. Again, it wasn't my, it was actually my first choice, but it wasn't the main thing I wanted to go with. Again, when I got it, I was shooting for a 3080. I figured, fuck it, you know, I'm not gonna be able to have much options. So I thought this is probably gonna be the best I can do for at least a while, because again, the stock has just been so bad that yeah, I would probably still be fighting to get a 3080 if I hadn't bought this. If I hadn't bought the 1660, I'd still probably be fighting for a 3080, which is really unfortunate because I really wanted one of those badly, but the stock was just so bad. It's like the 1 year where I actually want to upgrade and actually get a quote-unquote beast PC, couldn't really do that. And yeah, the 3080 is a 4K 60 FPS card. I wouldn't have even been gaming at 4K, because usually I don't game at 4K because, well, A, I don't have the proper tools to put it out. I mean, with the 960 you can play old games in 4K, but I don't have a 4K monitor. The highest my monitors go is to 1080p. So yeah, essentially, I would just spend yeah, I don't even play at 1440p. So essentially, a lot of that 4K fidelity would have been missing. There is, I noticed there is even if you're looking at 4K video or a game. Okay, so sometimes I'll watch graphics comparisons of a game in 1080p versus 4K. And I always get those same comments of those people saying they're viewing it on like their 640 at 720p quality. They're watching a 4K video in 720p quality on the 640p phone. So you get dozens of comments like that. But yeah, no, I know you're supposed to stay in your boat for this part, but I just thought, nah, fuck it. Yeah, so I saw there actually the image did look a little cleaner in some areas. Like one of the games I was showing was Far Cry New Dawn, and the details in certain leaves and things looked a lot nicer. They looked a lot more cleaner in 4K than in 1080p. But I figured there's gotta be more to it than that, because no way that's just all that 4K is. And I figured, yeah, you know what, if people want to game in 4K so badly, there must be something I'm missing here that I only see on a 4K monitor. So yeah, I figured if I'm going to be gaming at 1080p, I'm going to get better frames than whatever anyone else is getting, or whatever it's getting in 4K. And again, 3080 gets 4K, or gets like 60 frames in a lot of games. Aside from Control. Control is really intensive, but it gets like 60 frames in most games that plays in 4K. I don't know about Cyberpunk, though. I'll have to see Cyberpunk. But yeah, aside from Control, I saw this benchmark of it. Yeah, I was getting 4K 60. So I thought it's going to be even better in 1080p. And it was. I searched up Far Cry 5 on the 3080. It was getting like 120 frames at 1080p. So I thought this is going to be great. And of course, you know what happened with all the stock and everything. So I got for the 1660 Super, which again is really nice, especially if you overclock it's even better. But it is a really solid card. And if you just want it's not a beast 4K card. It's more of a 1080p 60 card, and it's not. Yeah, no, I wouldn't call it a beast graphics card. It's more of a moderate graphics card. It's not budget. I wouldn't call it a budget graphics card by any means. I wouldn't call it a low budget graphics card or anything, or a low end graphics card. It's just a moderately it's moderate, you know. It's sort of hard to explain what a moderate graphics card is. Again, the 1660 is a great example of one. Not exactly budget, you know, like full on fucking 4K and RTX and whatnot, but it is I wouldn't consider it like a budget graphics card or a low end one either. It's a great card, and considering the fact that it was all they had in stock, I think it isn't the worst purchase to make. And yeah, just do expect to upgrade maybe within like 4 years. Did they change the reflections? The reflections look much nicer. That might just be part of the Half-Life 2 update. I don't know, but the reflections generally do look a lot nicer. Yeah, they look nicer than I remember. Again, this could be the basic reflection from Half-Life 2, but from my point of view, they do look nicer. Half-Life 2 actually had really good graphics for 2004. It had some decent graphics, and they still somewhat hold up now. Again, things like texture quality do look a little dated, but lighting looks really nice, and especially reflective properties are also really nice. It's actually cool what you can do here. These Combine are going to be on this sort of on these stands over here, so you can actually, if you just take out the Combine here, the iron sights are really nice. The iron sights are a really nice upgrade. But if you take out the Combine over here, and you just sort of jump, crouch. It's okay. Again, it's sort of hard to make it over to this. I'm gonna try and make it without no clipping. You can actually jump on. Again, I was floating around on 360, and I found this. It can sometimes take a while. Oh shit. It's good to get a running boost. What if I just tried to sort of... There we go. Okay. You jump up here. You gotta be really careful. These things can break easily. You're actually just meant to plow the boat through it. You can actually... Can I... They patched it. No. Okay. I guess the mmod used the later version of the game, because on the Steam version and on the Orange Box version, I've actually been able... There's no invisible barrier here, so you can just sort of jump right over. And, yeah, if I was able to, I'd basically be able to explore all around here. If I actually save here, you can actually get in the ACP. You can't drive it. It's weird. It's really weird how this is. Basically, if I were to go all the way over to the ACP, you can actually get in it. You'd just be stuck here, though. And you can't. Once you get in it, you can't get out of it either. So you would essentially just be stuck there. But yeah, no. You are able just to jump right a map, which was really cool to see on Xbox. You don't see much glitches on Xbox, but it is really neat when you do, especially like heavy out of the map ones. Good, most of that stuff you see on PC through God mode and just spawning enemies in. Because a lot of the glitches that I've seen involve no clip of some sort, or some sort of console command. So I feel like it's an extra bonus if you see something on console, because it you normally don't see that sort of thing. You normally don't see games breaking on console because it's blocking it. And a lot of those times, certain soft locks and certain glitches and bugs are only again achievable on PC. Through, again, things like console commands. I think I've played it enough with cinematic mod. This is just to give you an overview of what it runs like on 1660 Super, with 6 GB of VRAM, I might add. So, yeah, if you liked the video, give it a like. I might do more content regarding this in the future. But yeah, it's been nice to sort of talk about everything that's sort of happened. Because, again, it's been a while since I made a video. The last video I made, I still had my 960 in it. It was... I think it was it the Black Ops Cold War video? Hold on, I think I made a video after that. I don't know. But I know the last video I made, I was using my 960 on. Yeah, okay, it was the Black Ops Cold War video. But, yeah, so I might make video content regarding that. I might not, because, again, a lot of tests for the 1660 Super have already come out. So, yeah, but if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe, because I need subscribers. I've been around for too long to only have 91 subscribers. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this little test. Again, this is overkill for 1660 Super. Even updating the mmod does not pose a challenge. Maybe for the 960 in some areas it might. Again, some intensive areas, but the 1660 Super has been so far able to handle it